What makes a hero? Is it superpowers, a fancy suit, or immense strength? Or is it something deeper, something that no science experiment can create? Today, we're diving into the full story of one of the most iconic heroes ever, Captain America. We'll follow his journey from a scrawny kid in Brooklyn to the leader of the Avengers, and explore why his true power was never the super soldier serum. Our story begins in the 1940s with Steve Rogers, a young man who's all heart but not much muscle. He's short, skinny, and has a laundry list of health problems. Yet, he tries to enlist in the U.S. Army again and again, desperate to fight against the Nazis in World War II. Why? Because he can't stand bullies. We see this firsthand when he gets beaten up in an alley for standing up to a loudmouth in a movie theater. Even before he had any power, Steve Rogers proved that courage matters more than strength. He never backed down from a fight he believed in, even if he knew he'd lose. This unwavering spirit is what catches the eye of Dr. Abraham Erskine, a scientist who isn't looking for a perfect soldier, but a good man. Erskine chooses Steve for a top-secret experiment called Project Rebirth. He believes that the super soldier serum doesn't just amplify physical strength, it amplifies everything inside a person. In his words, good becomes great, bad becomes worse. That's why he didn't pick a big, tough soldier. He picked the skinny kid from Brooklyn with the unbreakable moral compass. One injection doesn't create a hero, it reveals who someone truly is. In a flash of light and a surge of power, Steve Rogers is transformed. He becomes taller, stronger, faster, the peak of human potential. But just as the experiment succeeds, tragedy strikes. A HYDRA spy assassinates Dr. Erskine and steals the last of the serum. With its creator gone, the formula is lost forever, making Steve the one and only Captain America. Initially, the government doesn't know what to do with their one-of-a-kind super soldier. So, they turn him into a propaganda tool. Dressed in a star-spangled costume, Captain America becomes a stage performer, a mascot selling war bonds. He's a celebrity, but he feels like a joke. He signed up to fight, not to dance for a crowd. His chance to prove himself comes when he learns that his best friend, Bucky Barnes, and his unit have been captured by HYDRA, the Nazis' deep science division, led by the menacing Red Skull. Against orders, Steve goes behind enemy lines on a one-man rescue mission. He single-handedly frees the captured soldiers, proving he's more than just a symbol. He's a leader. He forms the Howling Commandos with Bucky and the soldiers he rescued, and together they take the fight directly to HYDRA, dismantling their bases one by one. The war culminates in a final showdown between Captain America and the Red Skull. Red Skull's ultimate plan is to use the Tesseract, an ancient artifact of immense power, to wipe out cities across America. They battle aboard Red Skull's giant bomber, the Valkyrie. As it hurtles towards the U.S. during the fight, the Tesseract overloads, and Red Skull is seemingly disintegrated, teleported across space. With the plane still armed and on a crash course, Steve has to make an impossible choice. He can't risk the bombs detonating over a populated area. He says his final goodbye to Peggy Carter, the woman he loves, over the radio, promising her a dance. Then, he pilots the plane into the icy waters of the Arctic. He saves the world, but saving the world costs him the future he dreamed of. The world believes Captain America died a hero, lost in the line of duty. Nearly 70 years later, a team from S.H.I.E.L.D. discovers the crashed Valkyrie, frozen in the ice. Inside, they find Captain America, perfectly preserved by the super soldier serum. He wakes up in what looks like a 1940s hospital room, but something feels off. He realizes it's a setup and breaks out into modern-day Times Square. The culture shock is overwhelming. The cars, the buildings, the technology, it's all alien to him. Nick Fury, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D, finds him and delivers the devastating news. He's been asleep for almost 70 years. Everyone he knew, everyone he loved, is gone. Waking up decades later is harder than any battlefield. Steve is now a man out of time, a living legend, struggling to find his place in a world he no longer recognizes. He soon finds a new purpose when Loki, the god of mischief, threatens the world. Steve joins a team of remarkable individuals: Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye too form the Avengers. As Captain America, his strategic mind and unwavering leadership are crucial in uniting these powerful and often clashing personalities. He leads them in the Battle of New York, proving that even in this new, strange world, his values of teamwork and sacrifice are more important than ever. After the battle, Steve decides to work for S.H.I.E.L.D, trying to adapt to the 21st century. But he quickly learns that the lines between right and wrong are much blurrier than they were in his time. He struggles with the gray morality of modern espionage. This unease comes to a head when he and Black Widow uncover a horrifying conspiracy. HYDRA never truly died. They infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D from its very beginning, growing within it like a parasite. The organization, he thought, was fighting for freedom, was secretly controlled by his oldest enemies. The person sent to hunt him down is HYDRA's most fearsome assassin, the Winter Soldier. A ghost story, a myth among spies. But during a chaotic street fight, the Winter Soldier's mask comes off, and Steve is horrified to see the face of his long-lost best friend, Bucky Barnes. Bucky didn't die in the war. He was captured, brainwashed, and turned into a weapon by HYDRA. For Steve, the greatest enemy is the friend you can't bring yourself to fight. In their final confrontation on a crashing helicarrier, Steve refuses to fight Bucky. He drops his shield and tells his friend, "I'm with you till the end of the line." His words trigger a flicker of memory in Bucky, who pulls an unconscious Steve from the river before disappearing. The aftermath of S.H.I.E.L.D's collapse and another devastating event in Sokovia leads the world's governments to create the Sokovia Accords, a document that would put the Avengers under UN control. This fractures the team. Tony Stark, haunted by guilt, believes they need oversight. Steve, however, sees the Accords as a surrender of their freedom to choose. When governments demand control, Captain America chooses freedom. He believes that the safest hands are still their own. This ideological clash turns personal when the Winter Soldier, still brainwashed, is framed for a terrorist attack. Steve goes against the law to protect his friend, making him a fugitive. This leads to the Civil War of the Avengers, pitting friend against friend in a heartbreaking conflict. Steve's side ultimately loses the battle, but he stands by his principles, breaking his allies out of a high-security prison and going underground. He leaves his shield behind, severing ties with the identity of Captain America, but not the man he is. Years later, the universe faces its greatest threat, Thanos. Steve, now leading a covert team of secret Avengers, reunites with the rest of the heroes to defend Earth. Despite their past conflicts, they stand together, but they fail. Thanos collects all the Infinity Stones and snaps his fingers, wiping out half of all life in the universe. Steve can only watch in horror as Bucky and many of their friends turn to dust. The next 5 years are bleak. Steve tries to help people move on, leading a support group, but he himself is consumed by failure. Then, a glimmer of hope appears when Ant-Man returns from the quantum realm with a wild idea, a time heist to retrieve the Infinity Stones from the past and undo the snap. Steve, ever the leader, rallies the remaining Avengers. Avengers, assemble. He finally proclaims, leading an epic final battle against Thanos and his army. They win. The universe is saved. But Tony Stark sacrifices himself to do it. After Tony's funeral, Steve undertakes one last mission to return the Infinity Stones to their proper time. But he doesn't come back right away. Instead, he uses the time machine to go back to the 1940s to finally have that dance with Peggy Carter. After saving everyone else, Steve Rogers finally chooses himself. He lives a full, quiet life with Peggy, the life he was robbed of. An elderly Steve appears back in the present day to pass his iconic shield and the mantle of Captain America to his friend Sam Wilson. His journey is complete. He was never just a super soldier. He was a good man who was given power, and he spent his entire life proving he was worthy of it. From the skinny kid in Brooklyn to the hero who saved the universe. Steve Rogers' story is a timeless reminder that what makes you a hero is unto the power you have, but the choices you make with it. He fought for freedom, for his friends, and for what was right, no matter the cost. He truly was a man for all time. Thanks for watching our recap of Captain America's incredible journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite heroes. Let us know in the comments which character's story you want to see next.